Yeah, what's up?
What's going on, man?
I was trying to pipe in on that conversation I saw you were having there.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah. You can hear that, right? So I was like, hold on, we're going live.
So, we're going to have some secret information on all the winning you're doing up there at Bethel, you know?
No, dude. You know what it is? iRacing. Get iRacing. Get iRacing, and whatever you're doing, and if you're winning races on iRacing, that's what you use. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's amazing.
This kid is it's all Mike. I'm at a loss.
It works, man. iRacing is legit. I mean, it's it's close to the real thing. Anyway,
dude, if I told you what we were doing, you'd be like, "What?" I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you. Listen, I'll give you the third place setup.
Yeah, I believe
But
it.
the other thing too is, there's not a whole lot of cars either. You know what I mean? So it's, you get a couple of guys that aren't really handling that well, or as well as we are, But don't get me wrong, man. George and Bill, they're tough guys to get around, man. They're not easy to get around. And Scott Seppi's actually getting faster. And who's the new guy that just showed up? Van Aken, I think. B21. So he's got the.
Well, he was around. He's been around before.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He just came. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So a couple of things coming up. Our good buddy Nate Stevens. So unfortunately, the Thunder Mountain Speedway that was they canceled. They decided to go on vacation or something like that. So I do believe it is going to be September 30th. Will be the finale for the second annual Unruly Race. They are paying $3,000 to win, and it will be at the Penn Can Speedway. So $3,000 to win for the Unruly Race. I think that's the biggest purse he's had so far. Unfortunately, we're not going to make that. I think we'll be at Bethel that weekend.
Well, he was deciding it was like a Friday or a Saturday too, because it's a conflict. So
yeah,
I don't think the date is set.
He just sent me a message, and it is September 30th.
Oh, it is the 30th. Okay.
Yep. So September 30th. That's going to be for Nate's race. Also, September 24th, Bethel Motor Speedway. They will be having their annual Sullivan County 100 laps, $3,000 to win. That is guaranteed. I believe that money is being put up. George Van Ardsdale won the last $3,000 to win race up there. I believe he's taking that money and putting it back in to the Speedway. So it is a guarantee $3,000 to win. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, shit.
Look at the rules. Buck Mills, all you guys from up north, look at the rules. You guys are going to be eligible to come down for this.
What?
If you run Bethel Motor Speedway rules with the carburetor, 500, all that stuff, you only have to weigh 3,000 pounds. If you have headers, 4412, then I believe they want you to add 100 pounds per part. So if you have headers, it's another 100 pounds, making it 3,100. If you have a 4412, it's another 100 pounds, making you 3,200. Regular, yeah.
Which is still not bad, right?
It's really not. It's
3,200 pounds in a street stock. I mean, it's.
I'm 31 and change.
Right.
Or no, I'm 30. I think I'm at 32, maybe.
Yeah.
A little low 32.
So that's not bad.
And I believe that the biggest tire that you're going to be able to run is a 255/60/15. So you guys up north who are running the 235/70/15s, you'll be good to go. So that's going to be $3,000 to win. It'll be 50. No jacking bolts. No external jacking bolts. You cannot be able to turn a jacking bolt, and the car has to at least have, I think, a stock front clip.
I was going to say, what about the chassis? It
has to be a stock front clip, I believe. If you go to Bethel Motor Speedway's website, they'll have the fall series rules. It is an entire series. The Sullivan 100 is going to be the start of the series. Please, by all means, you guys from up north, Buck Mills,
all right, Mike just said,
Tommy Groover.
I think that's where you're going to run into a problem, though.
Yeah,
you're not really going to add many because of the chassis, I think.
I don't know. I think, I don't think Buck's got jack and bolts in that car, does he? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
just
sure.
see Mike Morris just said, well, that leaves me out.
Yeah. So,
certainly.
and then I'm not sure on motor rules either. I'm not sure. I don't know if you have to follow like our motor. I don't know. I'm not sure. But just go check it out. It's on their website. And I'm telling you, we'll have a break at halfway at lap number 50. The only thing you'll be allowed to do is add fuel to the car. You will not be allowed to touch tire pressure, pull sheet metal away, nothing. You can't do anything but put fuel in the car. That's it. That's all you're allowed to do. If you do any repairs on the racetrack, you will start at the rear of the field. At the break, you can also pull off the track and do whatever you want as well. But again, I think that's a pretty sweet deal, man. I really do.
Yeah.
You know. So pretty soon I will put up a post and we will start collecting some lap money and stuff. I already know for a fact that courtesy of us, Northeast Happy Hour, I'll put in $100 towards the Hard Charger Award. And dude, let's make this a you know what it was, man. A couple of years ago we had 24, 25 cars, if not more.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that it's a good deal. So Rip the Lip, what's up, brother? I see you guys are on here, man. That's awesome. Thank you for watching.
Cool, yeah. He does a great job with the small cars out.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, yeah.
Those guys are
well, you know, we got our boy on there.
Braden, yeah, he interviewed Braden a couple times.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, so thank you all for the congratulations. We've been on a roll, man. We're doing well. We're doing okay. You know, I'm real happy with it.
He's got that Create motor singing.
Listen, $6,500 and it could be yours. Listen, we'll take 55. We'll take 5. We'll take $4,500 for our Create motor right now. We'll take that.
Yeah.
You know, so all right, man. So we got something a little bit different here tonight. I believe his name is Chris Diamond, right?
Yep.
So Chris, Chris shook things up a few weeks ago. I don't think we're going to really hit on that a whole lot. I mean, everybody pretty much knows, you know, what that was all about. And, you know, so it's just Bethel Motor Speedway just trying to clean things up and, you know, make it one of those tracks where when you come, make sure you read the rule book, you know. So, but I believe he's also been doing, he's an engine builder by trade.
Yeah. He's been around a long time building engines for Perregos and Cretans back. You know, he's been around a long time.
Nice. So
and he just started racing Sportsman at Orange County too.
Yeah, man. So again, Nate Stevens, September 30th, 3,000 win on Ruley Race. Nate's a good buddy of ours. He's been on the show, I think, more times than Gary's herpes breakout. And so yeah. And then again, Bethel Motor Speedway, September 24th, another 3,000 win street stock race. Go read the rules, man. They've opened it up a little bit, so I think some of the guys from up north, you know, they'll be able to come down and all that other good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring them on. It's 7:23. By 8 o'clock, I think I'm going to bed. So, Chris, what's up, brother? How are you?
Going on, Joel? How are you?
All right, good. So let's just kick it off. I remember years ago back then it was the White Lake Speedway. There was a guy, Scott Diamond. Any relation to him? He was a driver back then.
No
relation. Okay. Nope. So let's talk a little bit about how you got involved with racing and all that stuff. How did you get involved with it?
Wow. I actually got involved when I was a kid. My mother's remarried and he drag raced, and I started going to drag races when I was proud. Probably 5 years old, I remember being at Englishtown for the Summer Nationals. It was about 86 or 87. And that was Top Fuel cars at that time. And I was hooked. Like, that's all I wanted to do was race. So then, you know, as I got older, you know, I went and got a job at a local machine shop when I first got my license. Kellers and Salisbury Mills were there for like 100 years. Worked there for about 2 years. Learned, you know, some stuff. I left there, went to work for JPM for a little while. When I worked there, I actually met a good friend of mine, Rich, that I'm actually partners with now at RPM. We've been friends ever since, and I always said to him back then, hey, let's try and do this, because we were kind of doing it like undercover because he didn't want to like interfere with, you know, what put food on the table for his kids, you know.
Right.
I actually went out and started slowly buying equipment and doing work, and I was drag racing myself, and actually going up and down the East Coast, and went as far as Virginia Motorsports Park. I've been on tracks, Florida, all over, everywhere in between, dirt tracks, drag strips, not so much road race or any of that stuff, but, White Lake, used to help Wayne Kirkpatrick. I've known him probably 20 years as well. And then it just started to take off. Started doing a couple dirt track engines and started winning, and then one thing leads to another, and you get bigger, and it starts getting bigger than you can control. And it was probably about 5 years, and I just kind of burned myself out. I wish I didn't. It was probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life, but live and learn.
Yeah.
So I got a second crack at it, and now I actually you guys were talking about iRacing before. I bought myself a simulator back about Christmas time, and just basically sat in that thing all winter. And I was like, I kind of want to try it on the track now. Like, I didn't want to go out there and wreck shit, and, cost a lot of money and not invest a lot and not like it. So I said, let me do this. If I like it, then maybe I'll see if I can get a car and then go from there. So one thing led to another, and I found a car, an engine, parts, wheels, tires, and here we are. So yeah.
So right now, you're still running the engine shop. You're still building motors and stuff for a living.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And that's out of RPM.
RPM. Yeah.
And where is that located?
Walden, New York.
Okay.
That's with, like I said, my partner, Rich Benora. I got a spin-off of that, which is Dominant Performance, so I go and do all of my crate tuning, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want no part of opening them up anymore, because nothing but a headache, but
yeah,
I'll definitely get you in victory lane, because...
But the tracks are starting to clamp down. They're really... It's just a matter of pulling an oil pan off anymore.
Oh, you don't even have to do that, man. Bore scope, go right through the drain plug. Between the distributor hole and the drain plug, I can tell you whatever you need to know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everybody, right away, because I'm an engine builder, and, I definitely been into quite a few crates over the years, now that I'm sportsman racing. Oh, wow, that must be cheated up. No.
Just say yes. Yep.
Well, that's what I'm going to start doing. Actually, I'm going to start everybody put their money up.
Yeah.
I want to get a new engine out of it one of these days.
I'm just saying.
But that's that's the thing, Chris. Me and you, we've talked. Like the kind of the reputation. Well, that's how I knew. Like Chris was. Yeah, he built cheated up shit.
Well,
Well, it's not. It's not that. He's building what you want. This is what you're asking for, right?
Right.
Race engine shop, and you say that you want your crate engine to make more power. What am I going to do? Say, beat it. I'm not touching that thing. Bullshit. I'm like, yeah, you want it? Here's the deal, dude. Yep. You're cheating, and you know it, right? Uh-huh. Okay, you sure? Uh-huh. Okay, this is how much it's going to cost. Uh-huh. Okay. And then they go in, right. They get busted, and, oh, man, that thing was illegal. No shit. Like,
yeah.
Really?
This is what you asked for.
Yeah. Back in the day, I basically said that I owned engines to get people out of the bind because I felt obligated to, and I really should have told them to go pound salt because, really, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I said to one of the guys, I'm like, dude, I charged you for a balanced bottom end, you got a balanced bottom end, and you got caught with a balanced bottom end. You took the oil pan off, and that wasn't a balanced bottom end. You're going to be looking at me like, where the fuck is my money, or where's my balanced bottom end? So what do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. So Jay Silver just popped in there, and he said not that I don't even know if you would know, but any insight to, they're saying that no break off bolts next year. Listen, I'm not a mechanic, dude. I have no idea. I flip the switch and the car don't start. I look at Tony. Yeah. I have no idea. So what does he mean by any truth to the break off bolt motors will not be allowed next season?
Well, he's probably talking about going to the bottle cap.
Definitely a thing in the past. the problem with those is they're so easy to get that tracks are finally catching on 15 years later. I mean, now's a fine time, right? But anyway, yeah, they're definitely trying to phase them out for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everything is bottle caps now, right?
Well, not only is it bottle caps, but they also want them sealed by dirt or whatever track or sanctioning body. So you buy one of these engines, you're gonna have you could have like $600 into having the thing sealed for multiple places.
So
with it.
Right.
This was my question, right? So, we were discussing before. So I have a crate motor in the car, and if the track decides that they want to open that, it's under my impression that if they send that away, that's on them.
Well,
and if it's legit and it's sealed by George Johnson, because right now I believe he's the only guy that's in the area that's sealing these motors, then that's on their expense, correct? Unless it's illegal, then that's on me.
Well, if the engine's illegal, then yeah, it's totally on you. If the engine is perfectly legit, then yes, it's their responsibility to seal it. But he doesn't put breakaway bolts back in it. He puts a fucking lead seal on a piece of metal wire through 2 drilled head bolts.
Right.
And it's only good for Accord and Middletown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you go to engine to anyone, or
it's my understanding, like Albany, Saratoga, Lebanon Valley, if you go anywhere that's running crate motors.
I could be mistaken as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I was under the impression it was just Accord, primarily only Orange County Fair Speedway, because if you look at the seal, I'm pretty sure it says OCFS on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because he did seal one for us a couple of years ago. We were doing well with it.
Put a serial number that you're supposed to have with you at all times.
Right. Yes. It came with paperwork, all that stuff.
So, that's where I got screwed when I got my crate motor. I didn't have no paperwork on it and the seal, so I was kind of screwed. And when I called a particular engine builder, his exact words to me was, just buy the breakaway bolts and be done with it. Cut the seal off.
Yeah.
He said, get rid of the seal altogether, put the breakaway bolts on. And that's what I did. I never had no issue. But, the paperwork, I didn't realize that. It was that,
It was early on when the crate motor started becoming a thing for, get a chance to talk about Bridgeport Street Stock. I'm looking to get more cars. We were one of the first guys to start using crate motors in the street stocks, and we were doing well with it. And so, of course, everybody cried about it. We took the car right to George Johnson's shop. We pulled the motor out, and he looked at it and realized it was 13 years old. And we were all kind of sweating because we didn't know. Right. We were like, "Oh shit, maybe it is illegal." And he wound up putting a seal through the bottom of the oil pan. He drilled a hole through the bolt, handed us paperwork, and he told me, "So wherever you go, provided here in the Northeast," he said, "You're good to go." And I was, "Oh, okay, yeah."
I hope that's the case, because there was an engine listed for sale about a couple weeks ago by a local guy, and he had advertised it to be, legit across the Northeast the same. And George actually got on there and clarified it himself. So, whatever. At any rate, I think it's bullshit what you got to go through to get those things repaired and all that anyway, and then you got to drive, to whoever to get these seals. It's I don't know.
Right, but I don't think it was intent when this. I mean, I may be wrong, but when the crate class started up, I don't think it was intended for everybody to be able to do all this kind of work. Am I wrong?
I don't think they were intended to be repaired.
Well, no.
You know what I mean? Right? Opened up by different engine builders. Now everybody's got a hand in it.
I was under the impression that once they were damaged, they were junk and you had to go buy a new one.
Let's face it, when they first come out, I mean, I was buying them things for $2,500.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
So back then, who gives a shit? You blew it up for $2,500, you get another one. Now the things are $6,500, right? And these guys are going to buy them from Killer Crate and these other guys for $9,000 because they tell them that that's got all this fancy shit in it. Meanwhile, I was doing that shit 15 years ago, getting the same, if not more, power out of them. So, hey, you want to buy snake oil? Be my guest. But anyway, all this shit you got to go through to get it sealed or fixed. All right, so if you hurt a head gasket, do you have to throw the engine out? No, I think you should be able to fix that. And I don't think you should have to go to a certified guy that's 6 hours away up in Fulton, New York, or wherever the hell they are, to have it done. if you got a track or X amount of tracks within a certain distance, there should be somebody within that distance that you
So
can
precision's doing it.
Bob, as far as I know, doesn't want any part of it, but I could be wrong.
That's where, because I had asked recently about a crate motor with George, and he told me that it goes to precision. They take it apart. He comes up and looks, and then gives his stamp of approval, and then they put it back together.
Well, that's for his stamp. But an actual dirt seal, I know you got to go out to Trucy there out in Connecticut, or Doneth or Ingram or any of those guys, you know, to get that actual blue dirt seal or a Rush seal or whoever, you know, to go places that specify that specific seal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in other words, that engine that George has his seal on, as far as I know, if you go to race a dirt sanctioned race with that, I don't think, unless it has a blue dirt tag on it, that you can race that. But
it's I know for us, and I just said to Tony the other day, I said, listen, you know, we have a couple of open motors, and one we need to work on a little bit, but I said to him, you know, it would be cheaper for us to run both of those open motors than it would be to go buy a brand new crate motor, at least for what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Those things have gotten so out of hand. Like,
I
hate them because back in the day, dude, you could build a competitive 2-barrel engine, brand new back then, you know, back in, let's say, 2010 for $15,000, dark heads, brand new, everything, good internals, right? And then you want to move up, you can run that for a couple of years. Then you buy a set of spec heads, you upgrade the top end, and guess what? Everything on the bottom end, you still got, it's basically still good. New pistons, okay, you're going to do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you can build off of that. These things, blow them up, you hurt them, you throw them out, they're done.
Yeah.
The other thing I said was, hey, you know something? Anybody who's crate racing, these things have been out there since early 2000s. Everybody's got a cheated up crate under the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have an open crate race. Crate heads, crate intake, crate block, crate oil pan, crate carburetor, crate header. Everybody weighs the same. I don't give a shit if it's got bolts in it. I don't give a shit how big it is underneath it. Just have an open crate race. Just give these guys somewhere to race.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. I bet there's more illegal engines than there are legal ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There ain't no doubt.
Yeah. I can think of 5 right now. that I 100% know for a fact.
50 of them that I built.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you know, for somebody, you know, for what we're doing, years ago, you know, can you get break off bolts motor sealed now or next year with the legit dirt seals? Yeah, I have no idea, Jay. But you know, what we were doing years ago, the used crate motors were great. I thought they were great. They weren't fast, but it was like having traction control, especially for us on DOT tires. You know what I mean?
Let off the throttle.
Yeah, dude. As long as you could keep it wound up, they were amazing. You know, and
that's the whole thing with crate racing. Like, dude, those engines. Honestly, sportsman racing is there for the guys to get better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. You're supposed to make it a better driver. Okay, so if you can't pass the guy in front of you, it's not because you don't have enough horsepower. It's because you don't have enough talent.
Yeah.
But people have a hard time accepting that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I need more power. No, dude, you need to let off the throttle is what you need to do. Yeah.
Well, you know, for us, it was, you know, the guys.
Hard because I never had to, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but like the feeling like, you know, how come it ain't going nowhere? How come it ain't, you know, or it's doing this or it's doing that? Now I can say, all right, now I have a whole new respect for the guys that are out there doing it because I've done, you know, I see what it takes. You know what I mean? It ain't easy.
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I wanted to get a feel for that end of it to try and make myself better under the hood too, I guess, you know.
So you started off drag racing and stuff like that. So is this your first time in a circle track car or you raced before?
I drove a Leaf Spring Vintage at Eastern States, I think in like 2010 that belonged to somebody else, which was like driving a wheelbarrow compared to, you know, sports. So other than that, yeah, no, I haven't. I bought a go-kart when I was like 14. There was a track that was out on the black dirt that just popped up, was there for a minute. They had a race and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I went to that, and actually growing up, the Jerky Boys, Anthony Brennan, his brother John. That Anthony is who took me go-kart racing. So I raced it once, and after that I was about to get my license. I sold the thing to put my first car or truck on the road. Actually, I traded it for my first pickup truck. That's it. iRacing.
Yeah. And how have you been running all year?
With the sportsman car?
Yeah.
No. This past Saturday was the fourth attempt. The first night I went out with it, I ran with the rookies at Middletown, and I finished 10th. I think I started I don't know where I started. I thought I started last, but I guess it wasn't last, but whatever.
You started 7th. Gotcha.
But anyway, I decided to move right up to the regular sportsman because they don't give you enough laps. I mean, what are you supposed to learn in 12 laps?
Yeah.
So I don't have any help. You know what I mean? It's my fiance, and I usually got my kids with me, and she helps as much as she can when she's watching kids. And I'm not doing it to be a hero. I'm just doing it to have fun and see what I can learn. And if I need to stress about it that much, I don't need to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot better things I could do than get aggravated and sweat and pissed off. You know what I'm saying? And then create more work for myself.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was I going to ask there? So as far as so right now you're just kind of doing it for fun. Do you see yourself? I mean, sticking with this for a few years and then possibly moving up, or is it just something like right now this is what we want to do and that's where you're at?
That's a good question, to be honest with you. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't have the budget to go out and even compete at the level that these guys in the sportsman, it's intense, man. These guys, some of them have, it's a professional racing operation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Cody Higbee, let's start with that. That's all they do.
Cody's a great example of how, if you focus, I mean, Cody basically does most of that. He sets it up himself. He sets up shocks. He does all that. He calls the shots. You know what I mean? And nothing's handed to that kid, and nothing handed to any of them. You know what I'm saying?
But my point is this is all he does. He doesn't do anything else but work on race cars.
Well, yes, he is definitely totally invested.
Yeah.
But he's awesome, man. Even as just a human being, he's just a great kid. He's just even steady, Jerry Senior, Pops is awesome. Jerry, all them guys, just being around them just makes me smile and happy because it's just,
good dudes, really, really good guys.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know Hig did like the kid we interviewed.
Those guys work hard. You know what I mean? And it's a thankless job. You know what I mean? Nobody's out there. Oh yeah, thanks. This and this, but nobody realizes how many hours. I bet you Cody had 20 plus hours invested in his car last week. You know what I mean? That takes time. That's dedication. You know what I mean? And
and when we interviewed him last Friday at Accord, Hig, he told, he said that Cody does everything there. He does all his work, all his own stuff. And I didn't know that. And a lot of people probably didn't know that the kid was that invested,
Yeah.
Well, it's impressive, man.
Years ago, it was 2015 was the last time, we were at Syracuse, and Jerry even talks about how Cody was his spotter. Cody walked him through it.
Yeah, he was probably maybe 10, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see the the development, and Cody's wheels are always spinning. Like, I like talking to him because he has, I don't know, I say, we're on different frequency when you talk about certain aspects, technical and what, otherwise. And talking to him, it's just, it's a pleasure because he listens and he absorbs it. And, you talk to him about things and he's sharp. He's a great kid. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think that he's undermarketed. Show me a kid that's his age doing what he's doing. I mean, let's face it.
I think that's by choice.
Yes.
I really kind of do.
Very reserved.
Jerry bought him a slingshot when he was really young, and it was on his terms. And the car, I remember the thing sitting there for years.
Sits there for he didn't like it.
And Jerry said, "Listen, I'm not going to push him into it. When he's ready, he's ready." And I think that might be the same situation. I think that I wouldn't say that people are throwing money at him, but I think that it's going to be on his terms. I think that he's going to decide.
That's what Jerry said on Friday. That every time you see Jerry in a car, he's just keeping the seat warm for Cody. Yeah. Whenever he gives him the word that he's ready to go, Jerry's willing to give that seat up to Cody.
Oh yeah. No. Yep. Cody's going to school, which is awesome. Obviously that's more important than anything. It's his future and whatnot. But he's got great groundwork. He's been, like you said, on his terms. He's come into his own and made himself who he is. I mean, those guys have helped him, but they've just steered him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Again, show me another kid that's his age, right? I mean, he's running basically out of a pro shop. I mean, building the car from the ground up. I mean, they're building the chassis, they're doing the setup, he's doing everything and driving them. He's doing everything but driving the truck to that track, right? At this point.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's good. You don't see many kids that's got that dedication.
That dedication, yeah. I agree.
Really, and he's another humble kid. You talk to him, he's humble.
Yeah, no, he's salt of the earth. I mean, every one of them, right down the line. You know what I mean? But
so where do you
these modern, these younger kids, the younger generation, like his generation, continuing on and getting into it. You know what I mean? It's nice to see that even Josh Allen works with him.
Yeah.
Over there doing the same thing as Cody, washing cars and fixing and doing all that, and it's good to see that these kids are still out there,
Yeah.
Charlie Oteling said he's working on it, but they have child labor laws.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So, where do you see this going? I mean, do you see sticking around for a while, or where are you looking to take this?
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, trying to work on cars every day, man. So,
yeah.
You want to be in victory lane, you know who to call.
Yeah. Yeah, but are we going to make it through tech?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, that's debatable.
Well, never know.
Right?
It's like they say, it's Eric lottery, right?
Yeah, it's hit or miss.
Nah.
I mean, so let's hit on that just a little bit as well, too. We'll talk about the elephant in the room because I'm sure everybody's, wanting to know. How did that come about with Bethel Motor Speedway, with you going up and doing tech? And is that something that you've done before?
Brian contacted me probably maybe about a month before the race and asked if I would be interested in, helping him tech some engines. And I said, well, yeah, what are you looking to do? And I said, again, here's the deal. If I say that, I feel that it's illegal, legal, or otherwise, if you don't stand behind me, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's no point in it. There's no integrity in it. Why bother doing it? I'm not wasting my time. You know what I mean? So, they had an instance, I guess, where they had pulled a guy's engine out because it puffed big. And it continued to puff big, and they couldn't figure out why. So he sent it down, and I took it apart with the customer, and, I basically told them why they were getting what they were getting and what my opinion on the matter was. And Brian, basically said, okay, and went along with it. I sealed the engine back up for the guy. He put it back in the car. he had said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go back. This is BS." And I'm like, "Dude, just whatever. Go back." He went back, and I think he wound up winning the next week with it. But anyway, Brian had said, "Would you be interested in coming up to Tech for that big race?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Mhm.
So I went up there. And like I said earlier, I basically went up there to Tech crates, and during the race, he's like, you know what you're going to do for the open motors?" I'm like, "Nah, let me see your rule book." And while the race was on the track, I looked at the rule book for, a minute,
Mhm.
decided what I was going to check. I checked it, and that was it.
Yeah.
They stood, Brian stood behind my decision. And
Do you think that that's something that you'd be interested in possibly doing again in the future? I mean, obviously you must have been compensated at least, right, for your time up there, or is it something that, okay.
I was thinking of, no, I
Good,
would definitely,
good.
and I would definitely.
I appreciate you got to appreciate what it is that they're trying to do. You know what I mean? I think the place has kind of been out of control for a long time, and I think that they're trying to clean it up. I mean, they're obviously pissing people off.
Well,
but
you know what? You gotta, if you stand your ground, eventually, the bullshit will go away and people will see through it. And, the crybabies will either, adapt or move on.
Mm-hmm. I just, you know what I mean? And you got to appreciate that. I kind of like the fact that they brought somebody in. I had no idea who the hell you were until a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Wants me to come in Tech, I will gladly come in Tech. You pay whatever, you make it worth my time, and, I will gladly go do it for you. And you want to know every trick in the book, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? I don't, like I said, I feel that they should be there to make people better drivers. You know what I'm saying? So at this point in the game, no, I really don't want to go into them anymore. Like, I have a tune-up that, I mean, to be honest with you, it's been in victory lane probably more than once in the past month.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So, I go, I set people's cars up what I know works. It's won Eastern States, it's won King of Catskills. I know God only knows what else it's won.
Yeah.
I'll gladly sell you that, put it in your car, and off you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So not even like the crate motors too. I know you've hit a lot on those, but you're also doing some open motors and stuff too, right? For some of the big block guys.
A lot of 358 stuff. I got quite a few we're doing right now. We're doing one for Cormier. I did one for Jerry Higbee in the Falanga 88 earlier in the year. The engine in Mike Ricky's car that he won with at Ackford Friday night. Richard RPM and I do. Daniel Morgevich in the 15 at Ackford.
Mm-hmm.
We do that engine. Man, I can't even remember everybody, but yeah, got quite a few out there.
Excellent. So other than yourself, let's talk about some of your sponsors, if you have any, for the past couple of weeks.
Well, definitely Jerry at HigFab has been awesome.
Now, is that is that the kind of chassis you're running? You're running a HigFab chassis?
Yes, it's a Fab chassis. Yeah. Steve Huffcut Concrete, another amazing guy. Tony Falanga Trucking, Margaret Falanga.
Yeah.
The list: Danny Creedon, Anthony Perego, all the guys. John Ferrier. I can't even remember everybody, but you know what I mean. Everybody had a hand in helping me. My fiance Nicole has been very supportive of me doing this, which was kind of a surprise to me, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
She's the most important one.
My kid, my daughter's gonna be 3, and I mean, she loves it. I mean, and she's such an awesome kid. Everywhere she goes, she's just, brightens the place up. So, no matter what she's doing, she's always having fun. you see her on the backstretch, and I see her. You know, you can only hear her cheering me on. You know,
Yeah.
the night we were down on the simulator, I wasn't even really paying attention, and I hear her. I started actually screaming, "Go, Dad, go, go, Dad, go!" And I couldn't believe she actually understood what was going on.
No, we lost his volume there.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
There you
there
go.
we go. Okay. So,
Sorry about that.
yeah, are you in the Northeast right now, or are you down south somewhere?
Nah, I'm in the middle.
Why is it so bright at your
That's
house?
what I was thinking. It's
I'm just
fucking
looking outside,
dark
I'm like-
out. Dark
I
as
don't
shit.
know.
Yeah,
I'm getting rained on.
yeah. So,
Sick of
so
that.
there's we've reached the part where we like to ask, especially all of our driver guests and stuff like that, if there was any race that you could possibly win in your career, obviously other than the Daytona 500, what would that race be?
Oh man, I mean, any race?
Any race.
Wow, that's a good question, man. I don't know. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so it would probably be like a big dollar heads up street race, honestly.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $100,000 street race. I mean, that gets your blood going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can never get into drag racing, and everybody's like, well, why? And I'm like, well, you don't get to really hit shit.
Well,
I mean, not that you're supposed to now, but
Yeah.
It was nice because everything always stayed clean.
Yeah.
But it's different. I understand why people go out there and chase that finish line every night
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean? There's something to be said for that. But I eat, sleep, drink racing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
it's engines, cars. I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, that's what my pleasure. That's what's driven me.
So are you pretty much self-taught, or did you go to school to learn to do engine work and stuff?
No, man, I'm self-taught. Like I said, I went to work right out of high school at a machine shop, and basically learned on my own by breaking stuff and trying again, and some
Nice.
guidance from certain people. I was very fortunate to come across really awesome people in this business in my life.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful. Just having the right guy to call made all the difference.
Right.
Certain aspects, but
What's the highest level of racing that you've built a motor for a guy? Big block modified, something bigger than that.
I did a ARCA engine for John Farrier
Okay.
at Daytona and Talladega. I've done big blocks that went I can't even remember now, but I had a lot of small blocks, a lot of success with small blocks.
Yeah.
Danny used to do very well. Anthony had my sportsman stuff. He did very well. And that's about, I guess, as big as it gets. I had a lot of stuff that went to the streets back in the day that were very successful, but you would never know.
Yeah. Not unless you read the police blotter.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
But Chris, man, we really appreciate you being on here with us. Thank you. Learned a lot. Again, up until I think it was June, I had no idea who you were, and I think that you made a little name for yourself. I mean, obviously you've been around a while, so.
So was it
yeah.
legal or illegal?
what's that?
100%. Was it 100% illegal or illegal?
The illegal. Well, I'm gonna say it's illegal, and I'm sticking with that.
Okay.
Much crying or bitching I gotta hear over it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Copy that.
But yeah, man.
But,
any,
Yeah, brother. And then next time I'm down in Middletown, my whole family works in Middletown. I race at Bethel because that's what I do.
Imagine that.
But listen, man. Next time I'm down there, I'll definitely have to come over and look you up, man. I really appreciate you being on here with us, and sorry about the delay, but
Not a problem.
Gary has to work.
It's all good, bud.
I work for the federal government, so you know how that goes, right?
Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury.
Yeah, man. So,
Shit.
all right, brother, man. Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
Sure,
All right. So Chris Diamond, man, I did not realize. I can't believe I've never heard of him. As far as
he spent, like I said, way back when, Borrego, Credence, a lot of guys ran this stuff.
And I always thought it was like maybe Moose Motors, right? That was one, Moose Motors. JPM, I've heard of Julian, right?
Yeah,
obviously the engine shop, that was my guy, Pete Matthews. Got Bob at Precision. But I'd never heard of them guys. Never heard of.
He built stuff for Dipple. He built stuff for a lot of stuff.
Really,
a lot of people.
Really,
Yeah.
wow.
A lot of cheap.
Just a very. Well, that must be why I never heard of him.
Listen, me and him have conversations. He's a good dude, man. I always bust his balls.
Yeah. Oh, so Charlie said he built my motor when I won the Big Three. Well, that would explain why I've never heard of him. Yeah. I just he built my motors for Charlie. Crazy. Yeah. But listen, man, I think that every once in a while, I'm thinking, maybe the tracks ought to do that. Bring somebody in who has no affiliation whatsoever with anybody.
Absolutely.
And tear some shit apart. You know what I mean? Whether it be a crate motor or not. Listen, you know what I mean? Take off the crate motor what you can. I agree with that. I do. 100%. And you got to appreciate it. You know what I mean? And you got to appreciate the fact that the track is stuck behind him. So it's all good. Street Stock Nationals, right? So Pete Scooter Van Noort, who's representative of Mr. Frank Cozy, that is coming back at the Bridgeport Speedway. I believe that's going to be October 2nd? 7th. October 7th. 10,000 to win. Yeah. Please, please, please go look at the rules. Things have changed. Frank has heard you. He's listened to you. Yep. And you're not going to see a car there like Jimmy Blewett had last year. You're not going to see that. It's not going to happen. You have to verify that you have run a street stock race at least 5 times at one racetrack.
One track, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just be the first time in a street stock, so Brett Hearn cannot go out, buy a street stock, and show up to the Nationals and try and take the money. You have to have...
But I think it's pretty much you can open... You bring your track and your book, and you can run it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of an open rule book kind of deal, if I'm not mistaken, if I read that right.
Yeah, but it is my understanding, and I don't know if you got a hold of Frank.
No, I did not yet. No.
Okay, so we are going to try and have him on.
Yeah, we're going to get him back on
before the Nationals. Yep. He's going to verify some stuff for us. But if you are also on DOT tires, there will be a bonus. I'm just paraphrasing here from Scooter. There may be a bonus for the top finishing DOT tire guy, and I want to say it might be right around like the $2,000 mark. There are other options for tires as well. American Racer. There's like the hard, the 7th, some shit, and then you're also a G60. They're allowing those as well. So the tire rule has opened up, but it is also.
But that's why I said I think with opening up, I think he'll be okay with getting cars this time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna make it again this year. So Listen, we the family and I have a plan. We're going to back to London in November. So and then once we come back from London, we're literally getting up the next morning, driving to Philadelphia, and I'm gonna go run a daggone marathon. So so we're kind of saving for all that. London, Philly. Yeah, so, and that's, you know what I mean? Listen, I think the Nationals are going to be around for a while. I think that Frank and those guys have something really cool going, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So.
And they added some stuff, too, this year, I think, the 2 days. But I
think I think that like 305s now and all that other good stuff, So Walt Henry, I believe he's the Demarest boys are looking to go. Walt Henry's looking to go back. A lot of guys are, the best of the best are going to show up, and I think that's absolutely awesome. And like I said, in the next couple of weeks or so, before then, we'll have Frank back on, and we'll fine tune everything. We'll get it all down. Again, September 24th, Sullivan 100, Bethel Motor Speedway, 3,000 to win, guaranteed. for street stocks. Also, the fall series begins, and that's all divisions up at Bethel Motor Speedway. I think we're down to the final 4 in Middletown, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
then TGIR.
Big win for Bill. Bill
Oh,
JV.
dude, awesome. I'm glad to
2
see
weeks
that.
in a row. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's a good kid, good family there too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had Billy V on the show. That's one guy I
Yeah.
remember. Nate Stevens, I believe it's September 30th. Am I correct here, Nate? He'll pop on in a second. So that will be the Unruly race number 2, but that is also the finale for the Unruly series. That will be at Penn Can Speedway, 3,000 to win. And also there is a chance that Skip LaPolt may be popping in there as well. He is the highest point guy right now as far as somebody who's not running the series. And we were working on something, and I'm not sure if it's going to pan out yet, but if it does, then it'll be a cool race between Skip and myself, because I am the second guy there with that, you know. But
and I think the 30th is a Friday too, if I'm not mistaken.
So that kind of opens the door up a little bit for myself.
Yeah, it's a Friday night.
Yeah, you know. So let's wait and see what happens, and who knows? Maybe I'll pull something out. Looking for help for the Street Stock Nationals, looking to redo the body and update some parts. So reach out to Walt Henry. He's looking, I do believe, for a sponsor. He wants to redo the body on his Street Stock because he's been running Middletown. So.
Gotta love Walt Henry. He's on vacation in Dominican and he's piping in.
Yeah, his wife has the hairiest legs I've ever seen. It's disgusting.
Oh, Jesus.
I think it was one of those like optical illusions. Like she was like holding his hand on his knee or something. And I was like,
on the picture?
Yeah. I was like, dude, you really need to shave your legs. You know? But, yeah, man, listen, congrats to Walt. Picked up his first open wheel win.
She just turned 50, so she's getting old.
Yeah. Holy shit. Jesus.
Yeah.
Picks up the rookie sportsman win, and then follows that up with a win out there at Accord Speedway. Big congrats to you, man. You got your wife and daughter out there racing now, right?
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, I hope they fight, and if they do, I hope you get it on film. Like, videotape it.
We're going to try to stay away from that. Jesus.
I hope that your daughter takes the wife out, and then your wife, like, grounds her in the pits.
It'll be the other way around.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, my wife is ruthless. She'll take her kid out. She no doubt.
Yeah. You know, so that's a champ cart, right? That you have.
Champ cart, yeah.
Yeah, dude. We ought to take that thing down to the boardwalk in Atlantic City over the winter.
They race them down indoors.
That's what I'm saying. We ought to go.
They race them indoors.
I know a guy that wouldn't mind trying it.
They race them. They're actually racing at Bethel Sunday. We'll be there Sunday.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I have to work all weekend, so.
Good for you.
But
how's that federal job now?
It's I'm going to a car show on Saturday at the Greenville VFW, and then Sunday I'll be at the air show in Montgomery. So how hard is my life?
Okay. All right, there you go. Yeah, you're right.
But so I believe who's no Accord or no Accord Speedway this week. I believe that they got monster trucks, or something, right?
Yep, monster truck.
My wife and your wife. Yeah. There you go, Walt. Saturday, I believe Middletown is back, right? They're running.
That's their final for the championship.
Oh, it's the finale. Okay, so it's for the champions night, all divisions.
Yep.
The wife is shaking her head yes. And then Phil Function, I'm going to AC in January for those races. Great time. Good for you, Phil. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Rick? And then Bethel Motor Speedway back at it, and I believe they've got a couple more weeks yet, and then their points are all done. Congrats. John Cody won the modified. And then they had a big 4-cylinder race. I think Robert Beach won that. That was actually a really, really good race. Big congrats to Brandon Decker. He picks up the second 21 lap.
I saw that, yeah.
Sherry Barnes Memorial, man, what an awesome pass at the end there for that one. And then congratulations to John Velde Jr. He won the first one. That's a tough little division up there, that pro stocks. So, so I guess that's going to do it for us, right?
Yes, sir.
It's been a little while, so we apologize. You know, work gets in the way.
Work gets in the way sometimes.
So we have anybody lined up for next week? We'll wait and see.
I got 2 people that possibly come on, so we'll have somebody.
Yeah. All right, so just keep an eye on the website. Keep an eye on Bud DeGennaro. he usually knows before we do whether or not we're having a show.
Yo, he's quick with it.
Yeah, man. So just keep an eye on it. Thank you guys for following us on Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate it. And it's been a couple of weeks, and
Still going,
real quick,
still going.
yeah, man, a big, huge shout out to the Garaguso family. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys do for me. They went through a bout of COVID, and I'm literally texting Michael a couple Saturdays ago with the car, and dude, it was really cool. We've been having a good time, man. You know, and I hope some guys come up and decide to come back and race with us. Let's see how good we really are. You know what I mean? So it's been tough. A lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, hey, listen, a win's a win, no matter how many. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, I'm enjoying it, man.
When
I
you
really
look
am.
at the record book, it doesn't say how many cars started the feature. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. People ask me, "Hey, man, how many cars were in that race?" I'm like, 32.
Exactly. It don't matter. Does not matter.
Yeah. They run for downtown and Joel, man. Oh, thanks, Jay. I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
This son of a bitch is always running downtown Middletown. You better be careful.
Well, they had a road race Saturday, and I ran in it, and I finished 34th, 6th in my age group. It was a good time, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a tough race.
And how many people enter them things?
285, and the only reason I know that is because my daughter was dead last.
285, really?
285. Yep, and I finished 34th. So I'll take that.
Have you ever did them? Those like terrain runs and shit like that? Like
no.
Sean Marr does that shit.
No.
Have you ever tried them? No, you
no.
just yeah, they look like they're
I'll hurt myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was wondering that if you
listen, my tits are bouncing around now as it is. Can you imagine me trying to monkey bar some shit? Some little kid will get a nipple in their mouth. Like, Daddy, you know what I mean? I don't need that. Somebody had a video of me running the other day. I was like, "Oh, who's the girl with no hair?" Oh shit, that's me. So, but no, man. Listen, my daughter does amazing. Looks like she might be this series that we run. She might be the youngest. They call it the Iron Man. You have to run every single race throughout the whole. It starts January, ends in December, and if you run all 14 races, you get this Iron Man award. And she looks like she'll be the youngest person to ever win that. And she's 11. And dude, just very dedicated. And she doesn't give it. She just does her thing, man. She goes out, walks it, has a good time, got her ear pods in. She don't care. She's just. And then some of these races, man, she does well. She'll win her age group. We got a wall full of medals. Like, holy shit. Yeah, it's awesome.
Races, Raymond Fairway.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man.
Spartan
Listen,
races, that's what they're called.
I got a hard enough time trying to run without tripping now. You know?
So does your kid practice with you all the time? Like, does she run with you at nighttime and stuff like that?
Yeah, sometimes she will. Sometimes I'll go for a run and then come back, and she'll do a mile or two. Wednesdays I run over at Monhagen Middle School. We have track workouts, and she's done 5 miles on the track there. She was getting ready to do a 10K. She hasn't really been doing a whole lot lately. The heat's been pretty brutal, you know. So I don't. She's 11, dude. I don't want to. Yeah. But my son is starting to get into it too. He's 7 now, and he'll go and run. Yeah.
So out of the 22 kids, you only got one that really does it, huh?
Yeah, I had when we first started, they were all doing it, man, and it got to be expensive. It was almost $200, to register all these kids, but she's the only one that stuck with it, and I'm thankful for that. This way I can go racing on Saturdays, so I can afford it. You know,
that's cool.
But dude, listen, I'm super that's what all this crap is behind me. These are all the first year we started. Over here, and then this was all last year, all the races that we ran last year. Her, myself, all the kids, my one daughter, Rachel. And then this year, it's pretty much been just Kerrigan and I. And her one sister ran with her last month, I think, or the month before. She did a 10K with her, and Kerrigan smoked that. That was awesome. So
now you win money to do? I mean, you said you got to pay to do. You don't win nothing. You just pay to end. Where does that money go?
A lot of times, 98% of the time, it goes to charities.
Charity, okay.
And it'd be
getting rich off that shit.
No, so the one we just did was they call it the Run for Downtown, and all profits go towards the betterment of downtown Middletown.
Okay.
Dave Madden and his wife Anna, they've helped, I guess, beautify down North Street. They purchased a clock there and We've had ones where they were, all the proceeds went to like cancer research, autism awareness, and then when we're not running the series, the Grand Prix series, we really kind of base it off of what charity are you know what I mean, are they raising money for? My oldest son Josh is autistic, so we try to do a lot for autism, it's another way. You know what I mean? I think I quit smoking, so gave up one addiction for another. But just another way for the kids and I to kind of hang out and spend mom's money.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing that?
We started 2019. We started.
19.
Yeah. We moved in the house, and my daughter found all of my old running stuff. I used to run in high school, ran in the Army. I was okay. And then, so we went and ran a road race. She wanted to try it. And, of course, I show up to the line with a cigarette in my mouth and to run a 5K, and it was for a cancer run, cancer research. Yeah, what an asshole. So I thought I was going to die. I did it in 36 minutes, and that was 3 years ago. I quit smoking 2 weeks later. And I've been running ever since. I've lost about 60 pounds. And that was 36 minutes for a 5K. Now I'm down to about 21 minutes for a 5K. Damn. So that's a little bit under 7-minute pace. Yeah, that's moving.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I just did a 4-miler this week in like 29 minutes. So, yeah. This ex-fat guy can do it.
Yeah, man.
But
I'll leave that shit to you. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's been a lot of fun, and then I don't know, and then my other daughter Fiona, she's maybe you should get on the bicycle, the Tour de France, calling your name. Yeah, listen, I'd fall asleep. But Fiona's been coming to the races with us, and she's kind of been my pit crew when everybody had COVID and they were all gone. I literally had like the 6-pack. I had kids helping me,
shit.
So it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, you must have been lost.
Tony was there.
Like,
but
what do I do?
I was. This is why I had.
I can imagine. Like,
this is why I was texting. This is why I was texting Michael. I was like, dude, what tire person you put in?
Yeah, right. I can only imagine. Holy shit! You had to get out of your chair.
Dude, I've been so spoiled,
every time you want to find Joel, just look on the trailer,
I'm sitting in the chair.
The fucking chair. Yeah. Just,
every time I go to touch something, they're like, sit down. All right.
Yep.
Listen, I've been 100%
confused
spoiled
on that. Why you're not allowed to touch your own car? I
still
can't figure that out.
Dude, I'm horrible at it. I'm the guy that would go to tighten down the carburetor and snap a bolt off and it'd land down in the intake, and I go, is that bad? Listen, years ago, man, when I did it myself, I either won or I crashed, or my bumper would fall off.
Oh yeah,
because I was the guy welding it back on. That's my brother-in-law would bring the welder over from the racetrack, and I would try and weld it back on. We'd be in hot laps. I'd hit it, run it over, and it was. Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, Tony looks at some of my old welds and he's like, "Is that mud or weld?" Yeah, shut up.
Shut up. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Listen, I am no mechanic. I'll be the first to tell you.
Well, hey, at least you're honest.
Listen, my wife, she's like, the tire thing's going off in my car, and I'm like, well, put fucking air in it. Yeah, it's horrible, man.
Shit, that's what I say. You can't listen. You drive the motherfucker. Put air in.
Yeah.
Dude.
I know. So.
Oh man.
All right, man. That's gonna do it for us. Listen, if you're on social media and you're bitching about the racetrack, you are part of the problem. Go out and support your local racetrack. If not more than anything, now I'll tell you, some of our local tracks, man, are not doing well. Accord Speedway seems to be doing well, but some of the other ones are not doing too well. But listen, we appreciate those who continue to show up at the racetrack and try and put on a show for people, and they're doing the best they can, man. Just get out there and do what you can to try and support them. September 30th, Unruly Race. Our good buddy Nate Stevens, 3,000 to win. Penn Speedway. Any questions? Go to the Unruly site. That's Open Racing Challenge Series on Facebook. Bethel Motor Speedway has their website. They're also on Facebook as well. Accord Speedway, they're also on Facebook along with the Orange County Fair Speedway. That's going to do it for us. Garrett, good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
All right,
see you
folks.
next week.
Have a good week. We'll see you.